Welcome to the Dawg podcast. I'm your host, Matt DeBritz. I don't know what to say, really. That was pathetic. It's 96-76 Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech looked like the Golden State Warriors, moving the ball around, hitting three-pointers. I didn't know Clay and Steph played on their team, but it sure looked like it. At the half, Syracuse made somewhat of a comeback. They were only down by 6, and then Georgia Tech had an old-fashioned three-point play. So they're only up 9 at the half, and then they came out in the second half and had a couple buckets, and pretty much the floodgates kept opening. Georgia Tech, school record, 18 three-pointers made in the game. They usually shoot 32% from three. They shot 45% tonight. They usually average 68.6 points per game. They had 96 points for the game, but they had 53 at the half. So, simple math, they scored a hell of a lot more points there. On assists, they had 27 assists on 35 field goals made. They usually average around 14 assists per game. So everything was working for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets tonight. And nothing was really working for Syracuse. Benny Williams looked good again. The first play, he had a nice bucket. He had a couple shots in rhythm tonight. But other than that, it wasn't really anything. And the only thing I would say is maybe a positive is they finally went man-to-man. And on the 4 possessions in a row where they went man, they stopped them, meaning Syracuse stopped Georgia Tech. Now, I'm going to the game on Saturday, Wake Forest, honoring 2003 team. I'm bringing a huge contingent of people. It would really suck if I go there and Syracuse gets beat badly like they did tonight. If Wake Forest comes out and hits a couple threes early in the game, you got to switch to defense right away. And I haven't listened to Jim Boeheim's post-conference yet. I will, and maybe I'll do another reaction, another short video to that. I want to hear what he says. I don't know how you can really defend the zone, no pun intended, at this point, whether it's Picasso, whether you have Carmelo out there, whether it's whatever. It's 4 straight games now losing 17 plus points. That's the first time since the 60s, okay? A long time ago. It's obvious this team is, I don't know if they've given up. I don't know if they're rebelling against the zone defense and saying, like, we're just going to let these teams kill us, so coach lets us switch. I don't know what's up, but it's bad. And I hate to see it. I hate to see it come to this. And I hate to see, these guys get pounded by teams that are just not better. I don't think. If you want to win games, you got to change things on the fly. And when Georgia Tech came out and started hitting threes like that, when they don't hit threes too often, what else can you really say except change the defense, right? Other than that, I don't know what else to really go on except a couple other things. Chris Bell, all of a sudden, he's the odd man out on the team. Didn't play a minute last game, didn't play a minute tonight, and sat way down at the end of the bench. So I'm sorry, but I like Justin Taylor. I think he can be a good player. But from what I've seen them both play together, Chris Bell is a better player and a better athlete, and he could really use his offense at times. I said this earlier in the season on one of my other shorts or videos or podcasts, whatever. I think Chris Bell was playing out of position, maybe playing at the top of the zone, and he would give you that advantage that some of those bigger guards that Syracuse had in the past, like Trish, like Carter Williams, guys that are 6'4" and over and have long arms. That's what Chris Bell is. He's 6'7". So I don't understand why he's not playing, even in a game like this where they're getting blown out. There's no reason that everyone that could have available to play should have played. Hema barely played. I don't know what happened to John Bulajok, witness protection program or something. He had a couple really good games, and then he's not played barely at all the rest of the season. And I just don't understand when things are not working, whether it's an offense, defense, or otherwise, you might as well put the other guys in, because now your job as coach, or Coach Boeheim's job now, is to convince, Judah Mintz to come back, to convince, maybe Edwards to come back. I don't know about anybody else or how they're feeling. If you asked me 5 games ago, it was Benny Williams that was going to go. But now Benny Williams looks like he's one of the best players on the team. And it's funny how fast things change. And then Chris Bell is in the doghouse. And, will Gerard come back? Will Torrance come back? When any of the guys on the bench that are freshmen that didn't play, will they come back? Copeland is getting more minutes all of a sudden, which I like. He's a great energy guy. He plays hard. I think he can play point guard even. He passes better than anyone on the team, I think. But you're going to have to sacrifice somebody else at points. And at this point, it's the Wake Forest game and a game in the ACC tournament. There's been flashes in the last few games where they're close, but all of a sudden the other teams blow it open, and it's over. And I just, like I said, I'm going to the game on Saturday. I don't want to see that. I'm sure the guys in the 2003 team that won the championship don't want to see that. I'm hoping that the team has some sort of extra juice and can do something differently in this next game. Otherwise, it's going to be a very hard game to watch. That's all I got for tonight's edition of the Dawg podcast. I know I've been doing a lot of stuff off camera, not as much on camera. I felt I had to come on camera for this one, though, because it's just something really bad. I might have some more videos either tomorrow or the next couple of days. I'll definitely have a bunch of videos of the trip to Syracuse. Guess, surprise, surprise, it's going to snow a ton again on the way there, so that should be a nice drive up that way. Tons of my relatives will be there at the game. Will be a lot of fun either way. I'm hoping that the team goes man-to-man at points, boxing 1, triangle 2, anything to stop the bleeding so they don't get blown up at Wake Forest. And anyways, there'll be a lot of content coming in the next couple of days. Hope you enjoy my content. If you do, please subscribe on my YouTube channel. I'm on all the different platforms. You can Google Dawg Podcast. It's an audio podcast too, so if you want to see my face, you can listen to me. Anyway, have a good night.